Hello everyone, this is Awabakib and now we're going to continue our paper with the task 3. So first of all, we are asked to examine a couple of files, and it's always a good practice to just check these CSV files once in any text editor. In my case, I'll be using Notepad++. Okay, so we'll just quickly take a peek at it. Okay, so comma separated, and you can see a couple of values we have. Country names, we have telephone numbers, addresses, etc. Okay, so it's good so far. Sorry. Alright, so the first question 18 says, discuss in your own words the advantages and disadvantages of using a relational database rather than a flat database. Please type that answer in your evidence document. Well, it's pretty simple. First of all, in RDBMS, Relational Database Manipulation System, all of the tables are linked. Okay, so it basically helps us in creating reports and forms more efficiently, okay, because everything is linked. Now this is another advantage, the tables are linked, hence more consistent and logical data. The third would be that since you are not going to use repeated values, so data entry would be less, okay, and again it would avoid errors. So avoid errors because of lower data, or let's say because of no redundant data entry. And finally, we can say that in case of a flat file database, it takes a lot of storage space, okay, because again, since we are saving all the records in only one table, so it would be taking a much more space, especially when we'll be doing repeated entries of the same data over and over again, because none of them is linked. So our clear choice would be that relational database is much more convenient, okay, or better, or whatever, than flat file. Okay, so we'll always prefer relational database. Alright, so we are done with 18. Off to 19. Create a new relational database, import the file, and this is how the file fields and data types should look like. So let's head over to Access. Okay, so we create a blank database. We can name it something like FM2019-3, okay, anything like that. Alright, so we have to import m219 students.csv. so in order to import anything in Access, we'll go to external data and we'll click on text file, because the CSV file is basically a text file, as I clearly showed in the video that it can open in any text editor. Alright, so we'll import the text file. So we'll go to browse, we'll go to the source folder of our file, and the file was called students. So here we have students. Okay, you press OK. Now you'll see a couple of options pop up, so you'll just do next. Okay, so this is delimited. Our values are separated by commas, okay, hence the name CSV, that means comma separated variables, okay, or values. So yes, we'll go with this. We won't change anything. Again, it's separated by comma. Yes, sorry, you have to make sure that the first row is of the field name, okay, but it's not necessary. I've seen some examples in the past in which the first row did not have any field name, okay, so you were supposed to make them on your own. Okay, so you next this also. Now you have to choose the primary key. So what primary key should we choose? It says set the rule number as the primary key, so we choose rule number as the primary key. Done. Okay, now we have to make all these data types in our Access. So you click on advanced and you can see everything here. So all of these are going to be text except paid. Paid has to be boolean or logical, that basically means true or false, yes or no. Okay, so all of these are going to be text. Okay, we'll use short text because long text is only needed when we need more than 255 characters. In any of these cases we won't be needing, so we'll just stick to short text. So the paid has to be a boolean logical, so we'll select yes no. Okay, that is the only option we have, and we'll be displaying it as yes or no, so we'll do that afterwards. We don't have any date. Alright, so we go to next and we finish it. Close, just close this table. Okay, perfect. So the paired is showing as zeros and minus ones. Okay, so it has to be yes or no as clearly written in the question. So our format would be yes no, and you'll go to datasheet and okay, not responding. Okay, we're safe. So yes, here you go. We can see yes or no. Please always remember to save your work, because after all these are softwares and they can crash at any moment. So please always remember to press Control S anytime you're working. Okay, especially during the exam. So you save the table. Okay, we have done that. Place in your evidence document the screenshots of field names and data types used in the table. So you can just go to design view and you open snipping tool and you take a screenshot of this. You press Ctrl C and you just paste it in the evidence document. Here we go. So we have done evidence 5 as well now correctly. Okay, moving on. So we go to page 6, question number 20. Yes, we go to question 20. So we have a gender field that only accepts M or F. M for male, F for female. Okay, obvious. So we have to complete the evidence document and we have to tell if any one of these is true or false, and we have to give a reason why so. So let's start with example A. So it says format is M or F. Now this is clearly wrong, okay, because we have to ensure that the user only enters M or F. This is not format by any chance. Okay, example B. So we set the field size to 1. This is the first correct thing, and secondly we put a validation rule. Okay, this is perfect. So as soon as someone enters any other value then M or F, or tries to enter more than one value, then it would show this rule. Okay, so B is correct. C. Okay, so C says, okay, so you have a combo box and it shows you all the options. So what's the problem here? Raw source is correct, no column heads, display control. Here we go. It says limit to list. Okay, and it says no. That means you can use any other option, you can type any other option than M or F, which is absolutely false. Okay, so C is also false. So let's keep on writing our answers. So example A is clearly false. Okay, and you have to give the reason as well, because it's formatting rather validating. Example B is the only correct option so far, because we are using a validation rule with a character limit of 1, just as we need. Example C is also wrong again. Why? Because the list is not limited. Okay, list is not limited to just M or F. And finally we have example D. Okay, so alright, so what's happening here is we are just filtering the values. Again, it won't make a difference because you've already inputted the values. It does not check at entry time. Okay, it's only checking after you've entered them. It's basically filtering, not validating at the time of importing or entry. Okay, so this is the answer to this question. We have completed the document evidence. Okay, part 21. So now you have to import M219 courses in your database, and you have to fulfill all these data types. Okay, and the primary key has to be course ref. So like in previous video I said, please always read at least 1 or 2 subparts ahead of the question in order to get a clear picture of what's demanded by the examiner. Okay, alright, so M219 courses, we go to access, you again go to external data. So let's save this, go to datasheet view, we browse. So we have to import courses this time. Again the same procedure, so you'll use the first row as name. Okay, please always check, don't do this step blindly because sometimes examiner might trick you. Okay, so we go to next step. Next we have to choose our own primary key, which would be course ref, okay, as clearly given in the question. So you click on the course ref, it's now the primary key, and you go to advanced. So the data types are, these three would be short text, date time, numeric, and short text. Okay, so text, 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 we have date, this is also correct, we have numeric, and we have text. Okay, so this, the weeks should be numeric, okay, a number value. So we'll just simply put it to integer, okay. I'm sorry, yeah, so we'll just put it to integer. There's no need of using long integer again, because we can only have a maximum of, you know, a few hundred of weeks. So, or you can use long integer, it's no big deal. Okay, so let's stick to integer this time, because it's clearly said integer here as well. Okay, one more thing worth noticing is that the date time should be like this. It should be showing the complete month's name. Okay, so it has to be like DD and full month name and the full year. Okay, so before we do that, please always ensure that while you're importing, the correct format is selected. Okay, so since the base format is DMY, so we'll choose DMY, and once we've imported, we'll amend the format. Okay, but this is really important. Also, you can clearly see that it says 2 1 here. Okay, so DD means two characters, two digits. So in case of 1st August, it must display leading 0 dates. Okay, so we also need to choose this. Leading 0 means 0 1 0 2, anything like that. Press OK, and we finish this. Okay, let's cancel this. Okay, we have the courses now, but you can clearly see that this date is not in this format as asked by the question. So how do you change this? You go to the design view, you go to start date. Okay, so we are here. So now the format has to be DDMMMYYY. Okay, so just type the format as it is, DDMMMM and YY. Okay, this is 4 Y's, tetra Y. Okay, and then you just save it, and here we go, perfect. Okay, so it shows that date correctly now, so exactly as we were asked. We save the table, okay, we have saved the table. Now you have to put the evidence screenshots of field names and data types. Again, you go to design view, you open the snipping tool, you take a screenshot of this, and also let's also use this. Okay, so it can show we have figured out the date as well. So let's put it here. Okay, I think we, yeah, so there was space given for the question. Yeah, this was a space. Okay, so I wrote it above. Never mind. Okay, so next part, evidence 7. Yes, it's evidence 7. So create a data entry form using all the fields in the student table, and the form must display one record at a time. Okay, so this is super easy. You have to make sure that you make the correct form of the table. Okay, so please do not mix the tables. We have so far imported 2 tables of courses and student, but it clearly says students, even though the last table that we imported was of courses. Okay, so I know we always have this tendency of, you know, misreading the question sometimes, so please always read the question very carefully. So you have to make a form of this, so just go to create and simply click on the form. Okay, so this would also display one record at a time. It clearly does so. Okay, so you have 297 records. Now it says apply at least 4 features to make the form more user friendly. Alright, so how can we do that? First of all, the title is really bad, so you know, we can label it as list of students maybe. Okay, or any other topic that you think is better. And the spaces between the field names and the field values are too less, so I'll just, you know, give them more room, and we can squeeze them from the opposite side as well. Maybe this would be good enough. Okay, so we have done 2 things. We have justified the spaces, and we have added a title, a correct title. Okay, so now as a, you know, as a user you have, okay, so let's first save the form list of students. Okay, so as a user, if you look at this form, this is really bad. Okay, it says roll number, first name, ACC code. What does ACC code mean? What does course code mean? Okay, so you have to add some labels for the layman to actually understand what the form means. Okay, so maybe you can add some explanations here. You can say enter your designated roll number, okay, or whatever you like. So this is too long, so let's remove designated. First name, last name, gender is self-explanatory. ACC code, okay, so yeah, here you can maybe explain it as enter your um, account code or the course code or whatever this would actually mean. Okay, and same for enter your course ID that is unique. Okay, because every course has a different ID. Paid, what does paid mean? Okay, so this is the status of fees, if you've either paid or not. Okay, and you save this. So you have done 3 features, and the last one could be if you would like to add a button to go to maybe the next record, the previous record. You can add multiple buttons. I'll just add one, so I can maybe add a button here and it goes up there. Okay, so we can go to next record, or you can maybe add new record, delete record. I'll just go to the next record, and let's use next record text and finish, and it would take you to the next record. Okay, so we have done 4 things, and I think we need to report them into the evidence document as well. Yes, we have to do that. No, alright, before that we also have to add a new row to our form, so let's do that as well. So question 24, so we'll click on this button, the new blank record button down here, and we'll get a blank record. So we have to change it to form view. Okay, so the roll number is SS. Let's just copy this. We have Evan Barrett, so Evan Barrett. Oops. The gender is male. The account code is UJA3. The course code is A1901, and the fee status is yes, perfect. One more thing you can do is maybe you can add combo boxes. Instead of typing M or F, you can give the option of a combo box. Same for the paid. Okay, and you just save this, and it would automatically go to your database. Okay, or to your table. So let's confirm if we have added it correctly. So the name is Evan. Okay, so it should be in the first name, Evan. Okay, it's not here, so let's check again. Current field, whole field. Okay, it's not. Let's just open the table once and check it again. I closed it. So let's search for Evan. Yes, it's here. So I was making a small mistake. I didn't close the table. Okay, so it didn't get a chance to update itself. So we clearly have Evan Barrett here. So it's working correctly now. Alright, so we have to do now what? So take screenshot and with the new record displayed, and place this in your evidence document. And you also have to tell all the steps that you did to make the form more user friendly. Alright, so take the evidence of the form with the new record displayed. So you have to take a screenshot of this one exactly, and just take it using snipping tool. You press Ctrl C, you go to evidence, and you press Ctrl V, and below it has asked us to explain what steps we did, so I'm not going to type that. So again, the title, the spacer, the buttons, and the explanations. Okay, so we have done that as well. Off to question 25. Import the file m219 rooms.csv, and ACC code has to be the primary key. Alright, so let's go back to Access. Let's close all the extra things. We go to external data, we go to text file, m219 rooms. We found this. Alright, next, sorry, first row should be the field names. So the primary key has to be the ACC code. Okay, so I click on the choose my primary key. This is ACC code. Okay, and let's verify the data type. So text, and currency or numeric. So short text, and this is currency or numeric. So this is by default double. Okay, so we have to make it currency or numeric. So we'll use currency. Okay, because currency by default also allows you to have decimal values. Okay, basically double values, and the rest would remain unchanged. You finish it and you close this. So you have the rooms now. Save the table, place in your evidence document screenshots of the field names and data types. Again, you go to the design view and you take a screenshot of all the data types of the fields. Okay, we are in evidence 9 right now. Let's confirm once. Yes, we are in evidence 9. Perfect. Question 26. Create one-to-many relationships between these fields. Okay, no problem at all. Just save this and go back. So in order to create relationships, we go to database tools and we click on relationships. You'll add all the tables, okay, or maybe only those that are required. I'm sorry about this flickering that my mouse is doing. I have no idea why it's doing so. I think it's because of the Camtasia recording. Alright. Primary key ACC code to foreign key ACC code. Okay, so primary key is the one with this key next to it, golden key. So you have to make the ACC code with the foreign key ACC code. Okay, so this is one-to-many relationship by default. Okay, perfect. The other one has to be primary key course ref to foreign key course code. So primary key course ref and the foreign key course code, and again one-to-many, just for the ease of visual. Yeah, so this is much better now. We can clearly visualize the relationships now. Okay, so we have the students is making two relationships with other two tables. One thing worth noticing is that it's not necessary that the primary key always has the same name as the foreign key. Okay, this is clearly the case here. So course code is the foreign key here, but it's the primary key's name is course ref. Okay, so there is no hard and fast rule. So you save this and the relationship is saved. So place the evidence of relationship showing their types. Okay, so we forgot to do that, so I'll just click on this line, click on edit relationship. We can clearly see one-to-many now. So I'll take a screenshot, copy and paste it, and then I'll go back, I'll click on the other relationship and I'll take a screenshot of this, Control C, and yeah, perfect. So we have done till 26. Now 27. So produce a tabular report. Okay, so please always highlight these keywords so that you do not mix up the formats or the requirements. Okay, so we need to add all these fields. So let's always, like I said before, please read the question parts in advance. So what are the things we need? So we need ascending order of course code and descending order of last name, plus we have to select only the courses that start with A. So for this we'll need to make a query. We cannot directly create a report. So it has a landscape orientation, it has to fit on one page. You need to show the count of the total people in that report, and you have to make this the title. Okay, alright, so let's begin. So first of all we have to make a query. Okay, don't forget that, because we need only a chunk of the data, not everything. So let's go to create and we'll create a query design. We'll add all the tables and just expand them. Alright, so the fields must always be added in this order. Okay, so do not ever mix up the field order. Okay, so first roll number, first name, last name, let's double click on it, last name, gender, course code, course, gender, course code, and we have course in this table, location, start date and tutor. So location, start date and tutor. Okay, let's confirm if we have added everything correctly. Yes, we have. Okay, and if I run the query, So I can clearly see all these fields. So this must be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so just to verify, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Perfect. Displays data and labels in full. Okay, so it is displaying data and labels in full. This is just basically the query. We'll do the formatting in the report. Select only the courses where the course code starts with the letter A. So you can clearly see that the course code starts with M, P, H, C and all the other alphabets. We only need the one that starts with A. So I go to course code and I'll type A asterisk. Okay, so this means starting with A. Asterisk means anything that follows up after the A we do not care. Okay, and if it had said that it must start with A followed by three characters, okay, so then we would have put 1 2 3 4 question marks. Okay, so one question mark, exactly one character. If you do not care about the rest of the values, you simply put the asterisk. And you should put like as well, but you know Access does that for you automatically. So you can clearly see our query has run perfectly. We have found all the values that are indeed starting with A. Okay, and you can see that like is already appended by Access itself. So we are done with this part as well. Sort the data into ascending order of course code and descending order of last name. So we'll do that in the report. Okay, so there won't be any need of doing this in the query, because if you make the report, these sorting settings would be basically applicable there. Okay, so fits on a single page. Right? So we are off to our report part. So let's save this query first. What is the question number? Is always use self-explanatory question, the names of queries and reports. Okay, so this is 27, so I'll say report, let's okay query question 27 report. Okay, because we are going to make a report of this. So you go to create and you click on report wizard, because we'll be making some modifications. There is no grouping asked. All right, now we do the sorting here. So course code ascending and then ascending order of last name. Okay, so again in the same order. So for the first, the course code is going to be ascending, and then we had last name in ascending. Last name is ascending now. Okay, so you do next, and see, we would have missed, otherwise it clearly said a tabular report. If you hadn't read this line properly, you might have selected column or justified. So please always highlight the keywords in the question so that they do not escape your memory. Okay, so we are asked to use landscape. Okay, and it must fit on a single page. So landscape fit on a single page. Next, and yes, I want to view the report. So this is the report that I get. It looks neat and good so far. So I saved the report. Okay, so calculate the number of delegates on these courses and position this number under the last name column, and it must have a label of total delegates. So basically what we are asked to do is just to give account of all these records in this report. Okay, so you can count any of the column, any value in any of the columns. Okay, so it will give you basically the total record count. Before we do that, let's arrange our report because it's not looking good. So by holding the control key, I have selected all of them, and I can reposition them. Okay, so just press the arrow keys. The names must be shown properly. Okay, yes, they are all full. I think I saw messy here somewhere. Yeah, it's messy here. Wow, so we have messy here as well. Okay, so gender, again, gender won't be needing much space. It's just one letter after all, so we'll reduce its size. The course names are quite long. Archaeology on, you know, whatever this site one. Okay, we have Amman. Let's see the, yes, so all the names are visible. We have the start date. So date would be taking more space because it's actually the full date that's been shown. And we have tutor, Miss, Yes, okay, it's perfect now. So everything is within the boundaries and the margins, and let's save our report. So now you have to calculate the number of delegates on these courses, so you just have to count this. Now in order to do that, we'll be needing a text box directly below our last name. So this is our last name, I think so. I think there's some mistake. So roll number, first name. Yes, so we are basically out of order here. Location, start date. So last name must have been first name, should have followed by the last name. Okay, so yes, we have mixed up some fields. I think it was correctly done in the report. Alright, so we must have made the mistake while creating the report. So let's create the report again. Let's delete this and let's create the report again just to make sure that everything is done correctly. So last name, first name, yes, so they are in the correct order. Roll number, first name, last name, perfect. No grouping. Okay, so since we selected the sorting from here, that's why it was giving the error. So let's not do this again. It was landscape and we finish it. Yes, this is correct now. So now in order to sort the fields here, this is really simple. We just need to go into the design. Okay, so we had to arrange by the last name should be basically A to Z. So we are basically in the layout view. So you click on this group and sort, you add the sort. So the first sorting had to be done by the course code. Okay, so we'll go to course code first most, and we select the field course code, and we add a sort from. Okay, so yes, with A on top. Okay, so this is ascending, and then the second one would be last name, and yes, again this is with A on top. Okay, so just confirm this visually, and yes, it is correct now. Yes, perfect. Okay, let's close this. Now back to the original question again. So I won't be rearranging now, we have already done that. Okay, we just need to count the number of delegates on this courses. So for that we'll go to the design view. Now if you ever have to find the average in the report, the count in the report, the sum, we always make a text box in the report footer. Okay, this is always the rule. So we have to place it directly below the last name column. Okay, so you click on this text box, you put it directly below the last name. Before that we don't need the today's date and the page number. Let's delete this so we can have more space to ourselves. Just directly below the last name you get the text box, and you get, so here we'll actually enter our value. So count is a built-in function. Okay, so you don't need to worry about it. Then you put round brackets, and inside them you put square brackets. Okay, so square brackets are always used whenever you have to refer to a field that is already existing inside our database. Okay, so in this case we can use any of these fields to count. So you can, let's for our ease we'll use gender. Okay, it's easy and short to type. Or the other thing that you can do is you can say count and brackets asterisk. This basically means please count all the records that are in the report. Okay, so both of them are absolutely correct. Here we have to put total delegates. So total delegates, and the report has the title archaeology course delegates. So I'll double click on this. So archaeology. Okay, let's just copy paste instead of typing. We are always short or on time in the exam. Okay, perfect. Must have your name, center number and candidate number displayed on each page of the report. Okay, so for that you can put a text box again. Okay, let's use the label this time. Okay, and in the middle of the report you can put the relevant information. So the label is gone, let's put it again. So we were assuming that we were Batman. Okay, and that we lived in Gotham, and that our ID was 0003. let's hope Paint doesn't see this report, okay, otherwise he'll come knocking our door. Okay, so now we go to report view, and perfect, so it is showing you 36 delegates. Now to confirm that, since we made this report out of a query, if you go to this query, it shows you 36 records, so it means we have correctly made the report. These are, you know, just little hacks you can use to verify whatever you're doing is correct, and it is showing the report footer as well. You can maybe increase the font, embolden it, italicize, whatever you like. Save and print the report. So let's save the report. It's done. So you have to make sure that the report is showing your name center number when you print it, and in the evidence document you have to show the formula that you use to calculate the number of delegates. Easy peasy. So we go to design view, and we can just take a screenshot of this part, just the relevant part, and we put this under evidence 11. And please don't use Batman in the actual exam, okay, it is highly not recommended. uh, so question 28. So now we have to produce a tabular report, so another report, okay, that contains a new field price which is calculated at runtime. Okay, so runtime, creating a field at runtime is super easy. You just have to put the name in the query. So we need to make a new query now for this part. Again, we'll add all the tables. So a field at runtime means that it doesn't basically exist in any of the tables, but once you run the query it would actually form. Okay, so the field will calculate this. Okay, so again let's read a bit ahead for our for our ease. So first name, last name, paid location. First name, last name, paid location. Weeks, room type, weekly cost. Weeks, room type, weekly cost. And we have price. So price is the calculated field that we have to make on our own. How do we do that? We have to multiply the weekly cost by the weeks. Alright, select only the records where location is Amman and paid is no. So location is Amman. First let's do the Amman. So location is Amman, the spellings are correct, and paid is no. So paid is no. And now we make the calculated field. Okay, so for calculated field you always put a colon after the name. Okay, so since they asked that the calculated price, the calculated field is called price, you put price and you put a colon next to it, and then you have to just multiply them. And like I said before, if you ever have to refer to a field that's already in the database, you put square brackets. Okay, and for multiplication side we use asterisk, and you put these two fields in there. Okay, if you're maybe if you're scared that you might have any spelling problems, or you're not able to troubleshoot an exam, just simply click on the builder here. Okay, it would help you. So if you cannot maybe find the column name or something, so it shows you all the built-in functions. So things that use average, max, count, it's all in here. Okay, so if you double click here, it would actually show you how to type that as well. So we had weekly. Please make sure that the alphabets are properly matched. Okay, uppercase, lowercase with weeks. Okay, perfect. So we have done this as well. Yeah, so this is the report part. Okay, so if we run the query, this is indeed showing us everything correctly. So paid is no, it is Amman, and the price is being calculated correctly. So multiply 480 by 7 just for the sake of verification. So this is question 28. Again, question 28 report, and just save it. Now you create. Okay, so we have to sort. Again, we'll do that from inside the report, not making the mistake of sorting while we create the report. Then we have to calculate the total price and put it under the price label inside the report, and we have to just show a title. No problem. So we go to create, we go to report wizard, you select yes, we are in the correct query, go to next. We won't sort this time. Okay, at this place. So again a tabular report, and this time I think this is yes, portrait, and on single page. So portrait, single page. Okay, so we are here now. So let's just correct the format a bit. we'll just shuffle around these fields to make them more visible. You actually lose marks if your report is not properly formatted. Okay, nobody wants to read a badly formatted document. And these were our prices. They have already a dollar sign next to them. Okay, so you now save the report. Okay, it says sort by weekly cost in descending and last name is ascending. So we go to the layout. Okay, we are already in layout view. So weekly cost in descending, where is the weekly cost? Here is the weekly cost in descending. Okay, and the last name in ascending, so you go to last name and you click ascending. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense now. You press Ctrl S, you save it. Calculates the total, so calculates the total price below the field price. Okay, this is exactly to be done like the count part we did. So you'll make some space in the report footer, you'll delete the extra values, so you need to put it directly below price. So this is price, we'll add a text box. This is the text box. Okay, here we go. We need to enter total payments to collect, so total payments to collect, and we just shift it. Okay, so they are both bound together. Okay, so let's use like this. The title has to be Aman course update, so let's change the title first, Aman course update. Okay, so what do we put here now? Again, since we have to add all the prices, the most obvious choice is, you know, sum. And like I said before, if you like forget any formula, you can do that just by visiting the builder in the query. I think there's builder here as well. Yeah, so you can go to control source. Yes, so exactly, you get the builder here as well. So if you want to check the functions, how to sum, you just go to SQL aggregate and it shows you. Okay, sum is not, I think it would be in math or wherever. Okay, you get the point. So is equal to sum, so you always put an equal sign before you start a formula. Okay, this is the rule, as same in Excel. So round brackets, and then inside the square brackets you put the field name, so that is price in our case. I go to the report and this is correctly done, so we have done all the parts so far. So displays your name center number at the top right of the report, so this must go in the report header. Okay, not the page header but in the report header, so that it's shown at the top of the report. The difference between the report header and page header is that anything you put on the page header would repeat every time on every page, but something you put on a report header or on, so that would only show once at the top of the report, and in report footer would only be shown at once at the end of the report. Okay, so again, just create a label here and you put your name, which is, you know, quite an awesome name for an exam student, and you just save this and check the report, and indeed it is there now. So you just take the printout, make sure you have entered on the report. We have done this, so we are done with task 3. In the next video I'll be discussing task 4.